Hello there, YouTubers. This is going to be my vinyl update 2. Now, this is Badfinger's second album called No Dice on the Apple label from 1970. Includes tracks like No Matter What, Without You, which was a big #1 hit with other artists. This album's really, I'm really happy to find this. I got this at my local record store, which he rarely has any Badfinger albums. And this is original. It's in alright shape. There's a little notch cut off in the corner. I've had to fix a few things, but the album's in very good shape. So next is James Taylor's first album on Apple, an original, a US copy. It's very good. It has Carolina on My Mind on it. This came out in 1968. I wish that wasn't there, but otherwise, it's very, 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 very good shape. Next is The Doors' L.A. Woman. This is on Elektra Records. This is their last album. It's from 1971, just before Jim Morrison died in France. It has songs like Rider on the Storm, L.A. Woman, Love Her Madly. Those good hits there. It's a very good album. I recommend it, of course. Now, I'm going to get into some Pink Floyd, which I've been getting into recently. This is a Nice Pair album. In 1973, when they were coming out with their big hit, Dark Side of the Moon, they were finally, coming back into the public light. People are starting to like them more. They're getting real popular. They decided to reissue their first 2 albums, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn and A Saucer Full of Secrets, featuring Syd Barrett, their first leader, who had to leave because his mental problems were exaggerated by drugs like LSD. That did not help at all. But they reissued it into a 2-disc LP set called A Nice Pair. This here is a reissue of that. It came on the Capitol labels instead of Harvest, which is not bad at all. Still. What's different about the Piper at the Gates of Dawn, what's different about that is Astronomy Domini. It is, I think it's from another album of theirs. It's a live album from Umaguma. There you go. And other than that, this album is really good. These 2 albums are really good. I've been waiting to find this because I haven't been able to find the first 2 albums separately lately for a cheap price. So it's something to make my ears happy until then. Next is another Pink Floyd album, Wish You Were Here. This came out in 1974, just after Dark Side of the Moon, which came out in 73. Syd Barrett, who was the leader of the band in 1967 and 1968 a bit, then Gilmour took over. He walked in during one of the songs on here, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, and they didn't recognize him because he became fat and he shaved his head. But this album is basically pointed towards him, Wish You Were Here and all that. Next is a blues band on the Durham label called 10 Years After, a blues rocket band. They're British, of course. I always look for things on the Durham label because another one of my favorite bands, the Moody Blues, and as well as Procol Harum, start off on Durham. I also look for stuff on Capitol and stuff like that because of the Beatles. I really recommend this album. It's very good. It's very bluesy and rocky. Alvin Lee did a good job here. It's a cool looking album, especially when you open the cover, all the psychedelic looking stuff. Like I said, I'd recommend this album. It's very good. It's very interesting. Next, I'm going to go through some stuff that I've had for a while and I haven't really played them or shown them to you guys in any way. At least I don't remember doing that. So I've had this album here, Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland, for about a few months, probably a little longer. This is not an original because it's not a reprise. It is leave that there. It is a 2010 reissue on 180 gram vinyl. Hendrix family approved. It's very good. It's on, like I said, 180 gram vinyl, very heavy. It has a booklet inside with pictures from Linda Eastman, or Linda McCartney, before she changed her name, Paul. And I really, really love this album. I have all three Jimi Hendrix Experience albums, Electric Ladyland, Are You Experienced, and Axis Bold as Love. The other two are originals, but I'm still looking for the Band of Gypsies after he broke up with Jimi Hendrix Experience. So that's a good album there. Next album is Lynyrd Skynyrd Street Survivors. Now this finished off my Lynyrd Skynyrd collection. The only thing I wish is if this was the one with the flame, because that's more rare. And what happened was in 1973, no, my bad, that's when they started. In 1977, I want to say, the band members of Lynyrd Skynyrd got into a plane crash in Mississippi, or they're heading to going through Mississippi, going to Louisiana, and the lead singer, Ronnie Van Zant, right there, he was killed along with some other members, like Steve Gaines, and their album just came out, this album, and showing flames above everybody, and they felt that it wasn't really, good to keep that, so they switched the cover because, it's kind of heartbreaking for the family members and everything, which Lynyrd Skynyrd to me is not Lynyrd Skynyrd without these members, especially without Ronnie Van Zant. It's a very good album, it's on MCA Records. This is a cool picture of the band, They're a very good group. They're one of my favorite southern rock bands in the world. I gotta love them, but I think nowadays they're kind of ruined because they sound too country, so to say. They're just like everybody else. They don't sound the same without Ronnie Van Zant, I'm sorry to say. Next is by a band called Klaatu, a Canadian band. This came out in the 1970s. I don't remember which year. This is an American copy on Capitol Records. It's called Klaatu here, but I know across the sea and all that stuff, it's called 347 Eastern, or EST. It's a very good album. People used to think they were the Beatles because it was on the Capitol label. Everybody thought that, and because a couple songs sound very close to the Beatles, and I do agree. But there's a lot of songs on there that sound nothing like the Beatles. The ones that do sound like the Beatles, I would say, is Sub Rosa Subway, which is a very good song. And then you could tell it's not the Beatles right after that with True Life Hero, which is another great song, but doesn't sound like them. But this is a very good band. I'd recommend them if you want to get into Klaatu and you've been thinking about it. If you want to get get this album. Look for The Sun. It's a very, very good album, and I love this album. Right, next is by a band called Steve Miller. The Steve Miller Band. The album is called Fly Like an Eagle. This is on Capitol Records. This is my second Steve Miller album. The first one is the one that came right after this, called Bookends, with Jet Airliner. This has Fly Like an Eagle on it, Keep on Rocking Me Baby, Take the Money and Run, Serenade. This is a very good album. Recommend it to any Steve Miller fans out there. Well, that's all I have today. I will do another video soon updating my whole Beatles vinyl collection because I know I have more Beatles stuff to show you guys. I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll see you soon. Bye.